Sonny aimed his story at the poor, insignificant person, and he told it something like this. And if you see, yours will help. Years ago, when I lived I went to the county fair. A colored man came up to me and says, "Mr. Webb, won't you buy this little horse from me? It was a trim little horse. Is he a blood horse?" "Is he a blood horse?" I asked. "No, sir. No blooded horse, but he sure has got the..." There you go. "How much you want for him?" $75. "I don't want any scrub," I replied. "I want a thoroughbred." I paid $100 for the horse I bought that day. A neighbor bought the scrub, strapped him to an old two-wheel surrey, and drove away from the fairgrounds. Just then, a man driving a beautiful bay hitched to a new buggy came thundering up behind and started to pass the scrub. "What's this you're going to do?" the little horse said. "Pass me?" "Well, not much." There you go. It was not long before he was tossing dust back in the face of that big horse. He was a scrub, but he seemed to say, "Come on with that shiny buggy. Pass me if you can." The new owner said, "Well, he's surely got the go in him." "Yeah, but he's a scrub. He'll never hold that gate." But he did. The new owner got to think, "I believe I'll give him a blooded horse's chance." The owner fed him carefully, rubbed him down, and exercised him, then entered him in his first harness race. He lined up with the other horses. The old starter waved his handkerchief, and the scrub found himself on the outside, the hardest place to run. But he didn't whine or cry. He didn't say, "Oh, they ought not to put me in the class with those town boys. I've never had a chance." He said, "All my life I've heard that blue blood is for running purposes. I'll just see what's in it." Well, he tore around the track. He nosed over and got away from the outside. He passed one horse. "Well, trapped one of them. But," he said, "passed another and another. He took the lead on the inside, and the scrub horse came streaking under the wire, a winner." My son, here's some actual history. I've been told that horse in 6 months sold for $1,400. Thank you, Mr. Pryor. But within a short time, was that Mr. Pryor? No. Who was 1,400? Harley. Well done, Harley. And within a short time, sold for much, much more. He became one of the most famous horses in the history of harness racing. Little Brown Jug. Little Brown Jug. Now, one day, leaning out of my schoolhouse window I saw very good Major Campbell Brown with the strangest looking drove of horses you can imagine. Now I went out and said, "Major, what are you going to do with all those horses?" "Sonny," he replied, "see that old horse over there? That is Tom Howell, and he's the sire of Little Brown Jug. I just bought him and all of Little Brown Jug's kinfolks I could find." Now, one of the finest lines of harness racing stock in the country goes back to Tom Howell, the sire of Little Brown Jug, that little scrub horse with the go in it. My son, I want you to do what Little Brown Jug did. I want you to go out into the world and pedigree your ancestors. Pedigree your ancestors. Very good. Thank you, seniors. Now, for those of you young people who might not quite catch the gist of the story, those of you not really much into animal husbandry, here's the bottom line. That little horse turned into a moneymaker. That Campbell Brown went out and bought that horse's sire. Okay, it says that sire bred one good horse, he can breed others. So in other words, that entire line of horses goes back, back far. Don't care what your origins are. Remember, you got to remember, back in the day, this was not a school for the elite. This was a school for working people. This was a school which was located in a blasted, poverty-stricken part of the country. The folks who came to school here were not necessarily rich, okay? They were not necessarily of good family, okay? They might not have much ancestors they could point back to, but what Sonny told them was this: you go out and through your hard work, lazies, go back to the scripture this morning, through your hard work, through your earnest effort, you can gain a reputation for yourself that will make your family